Oh yeah. Break On Through is back live for you. Did y'all miss me? Hey Jason, how's it going, man? You know what? I'll tell you. I was gonna make up some story why I wasn't here last week, but I'm gonna lay the truth on you. The truth being, there's some hard times going around here at the Clayton house. The having to pay repairmen stuff and crawl space filled with water. Furnace deciding not to work on two of the coldest nights of the year so far. But what it all came down to was I needed to set aside some time to go visit my granddaughter, Little Winter. Something had to go. So that week it was break on through. It had to go. I had to go be with her. Hey, Brad. So that's why. And I imagine in the future, if it has to happen again, it'll probably be the same reasons. There's just too much going on in my life. I mean, I'm not saying my life is any more busy than anyone else's, but there's only so much time you have to devote to things, and you can't give like 6 things 100%. So I wanted to go see my granddaughter and spend some quality time with her, not be in a hurry, and that's why I wasn't here last week. But I hope you guys enjoyed the start of the shoot interview that Malcolm's doing with Phil Keller. I got to listen to it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I enjoyed the ones he's done with Mad Brother Ward the past few Sundays. I'm going to make a few announcements, and I'm going to get right into it. Can you dig that? Well, it's hot today. Luckily, I have this Stan Hansen fan to keep me nice and cool. I feel bad for y'all. Anyway, one more week of the pre-order of the Green Monster t-shirt. One more week. Then I turn in all the orders. That's the way it works. So I'll be here next Tuesday and, riling you all up, saying it's the last day next Tuesday. Because next Tuesday will indeed be the last day. So, guys, if you want your girl to get you one for Valentine's Day, you can just say, well, I sure wish I had that ANTiSEEN green shirt, but, as long as I got this card, I'm fine. And it'll be, oh, did you want a green ANTiSEEN monster shirt? Yeah, but, it's okay. I mean, it's available for a couple more days after Valentine's Day, but you can do that if you want. Be a way to get one, I guess. But on Thursday, February 18th, now, I was going to give you a teaser on this, but I'm going to go ahead and lay it on you because we're about 90% sure it's going to happen. It'll be the most out of control, wild break on through you have ever seen. I know you're saying right now, Jeff Clayton, how could it be the wildest thing we've ever? I mean, you know, break on through is basically you just sitting there rambling, trying to keep your thoughts straight, which sometimes is exciting. But how could it be out of control? Let me explain. 80% tentative. February 18th. On Break On Through, you will witness Judas Bullethead live. That's right. Bullethead and Judas Leopard will be performing right here. An acoustic show. You know what? I don't even think we're going to discuss what we're going to do. I think we're just going to get on here and do it. Can you dig it? We're just going to let it go. So when I become 100% sure, I'll be advertising it on Facebook so you won't forget. You know, and start watching, I don't know, you could be watching something else and go, God damn, I forgot about the live Judas Bullethead. Of course, you can watch it later. Thanks, Martin. Good to be back. Good to be back. Well, the last time I was on, man, I started with the history, the story of the Confederacy of Scum. The COS, not to be confused with the Church of Satan. All right? And I gotta admit, last time was a little bit of a scramble because I didn't have anything in front of me, you know, trying to lay the thing out, but I do now. So basically, in a nutshell, ANTiSEEN and Rancid Vat. Rancid Vat's in Portland. ANTiSEEN's in Charlotte, North Carolina. They form an alliance, a cross-country alliance. ANTiSEEN is going across the United States, and we end up in a cornfield in Kansas. Lawrence, Kansas, to be exact. We meet a band there. Good dudes. They play. They blow our minds. And like all great teams, we become a three-man tag team. ANTiSEEN, Rancid Vat, Cock Noose. We take on the moniker of a organization that the Widowmaker already has brewing in his brain, the Confederacy of Scum. We don't think we're scum, but the outside world did. We weren't saying, oh, we're scum rock, we're scum punks, because we weren't. Later, we would induct from Ringgold, Georgia, Hell Stomper. And from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Lime Cell. The next few, I admit, I have got to, I gotta do some studying. But I can pretty much tell you what's going on, because I got a list right here in front of me. In 1993, we had the first physical thing that could be labeled a super show. As a matter of fact, I think we called it a super show, but it was not the official Confederacy of Scum super shows that all had a method to them and became annual. That starts in 1997. I'll get us to 1997 real quick, but right now we're in 1993. It's Mad Brother Ward. It's Cock Noose. It's ANTiSEEN, Charlotte, North Carolina. Mad Brother Ward has gone into great detail about this show, and I'll tell you all, it is a show that's still talked about in this town to this day, because it was a real kind of I'm trying to think of a good word to call it. It was definitely a turning point in Charlotte. Man, there's like, a group of kids that had decided they had become skinheads, and they went through every facet of skinheadism that you could. Now, if you're a crazed social justice warrior, then you think those people should be drug out of their houses now and burned at the stake. But, if you're a level-headed person that understands people, you know that sometimes it's just a little thing that people have to go through. They grow out of it. Maybe not the fashion, maybe not the music, but the more self-destructive, harmful elements, they do. And there were a group in Charlotte at the time, and man, I knew most of these kids, man, they were coming to see us in the 80s. We knew them when they were young, and just being able to get into nightclubs and stuff. So we knew these kids, man. But for some reason, they picked this particular ANTiSEEN show to flex their muscles in Charlotte. Mistake number one, kids. You don't pick an ANTiSEEN show to come and flex your muscle. And that's the lesson they learned that night. You don't embarrass us in front of our friends from Kansas, our friends from Philadelphia, like the Cosmic Commander, who emceed the whole thing, and if I'm being completely honest, may have been the one kind of throwing some of the chum into the water. But, hey, that's what Cosmo does, or did, so. But, it was a violent night. It was a long, violent sentence, and we put the period on it. Never happened again. I still see some of those kids. I mean, not kids now. They're full-grown adults with kids, and in some cases, grandchildren of their own. Do they go around, goose-stepping and Sieg-heiling and all now? No. They grew out of it. Through life experience, they learned. People can do that. So, 1994, the next thing it was Confederacy of Scum endorsed was the Second Amendment tour with ANTiSEEN and Cock Noose. Now, since we're concentrating on COS, I'm going to just skim the top of that. That was a wild tour. Yeah. First night together in Lafayette, Louisiana, we thought it was over. Because we were getting... it's basically us and Cock Noose versus the entire club. And we won. But the cops told us, yeah, we suggest y'all just leave Lafayette and don't come back. Alright. So... other spots on the tour were just as chaotic. Some were very funny. Some were very fun. Maybe one day we'll just do a show about that tour, talking about each of those individual shows. I don't know. Maybe one day we'll see if we get get Widowmaker on here via telephone or something, you know, and we'll talk about it. We'll see. We can do anything on break on through. Break on through is open to all possibilities. As long as we don't hurt the feelings of somebody in the Facebook hierarchy, we're okay. Can't hurt no feelings. So, Cock News ANTiSEEN tour in '94. Also in '94, another big a big thing happens. Rancid Vat relocates from Portland, leaving behind Dean Miles on drums and Steve Wilson on lead vocals, still in Portland. Marlon the Whiskey Rebel moved to Philadelphia, where they hook up with. Man, I like all incarnations of Rancid Vat, but man, the Eric Perfect Cosmo Philadelphia lineup, that was it's like every time they played, it became legendary. More about that later. So now that Rancid Vat's on the East Coast, that's when we decide, hey, we need to play more shows. He said we were playing shows together, but they just weren't all labeled, you know, the COS. I mean, they were all COS endorsed, but in 1994, you know the ad that I'm using to advertise today's show? It's got that poster. It looks like an old wrestling poster. It was an old wrestling poster. It was made at the printer that made all the old Mid-Atlantic wrestling posters, and then when that stopped, you know, all the indie promotions were getting their stuff done too, to that rainbow effect paper, you know. We wanted it done there, and we got it done. And yeah, Shane, we're gonna do one on Cosmo, just Cosmo one day, because the Cosmo's got a long history with us, and it can't be done. I mean, it might have to be a two-parter. I don't know, but this one's definitely gonna be 3, because I can't cover all this today. But so in '94, we do the show at Jeremiah's. It's our second and most elaborate barbed wire show. How did I get that idea? Well, we had just got turned on to IWA wrestling from Japan. My good pal, my main from Japan, turned me on to IWA. Toshi sent me. We're sending us VHS tapes, and man, it's just like. And I saw some heavy metal band in a magazine talking about the great shit that they would do at their shows, and one of them said, "We've even talked about putting barbed wire in front of us, in between us and the crowd." In reality, they were just worried about their white shoes being good and white. They didn't do it. I did it. I went ahead and did it. So we bought barbed wire, but this one was the best one. We had Diamond Dave doing our pyro for us. Pyro Dave, man. He played in a group called Fireball X something. I mean, I can't remember the name, the number name, but I call him Thunderfingers because he's a fantastic bass player, whom I hope to do some work with very soon. Dave Winecoop. He was a pyro man. And we hooked that barbed wire up with explosives with little gel pills filled with gunpowder. They had a tripwire going through each one of them. And midway through the show, when I finally just, you know, like we were avoiding the barbed wire the whole time. I think we even did one trick where I tapped it one time, and one goes pow, you know. So it's like, ooh, you know. But then midway through the show, I fall backwards into it, and we hit them all. Man, it was impressive. It looked good. But that was Barry's first show with us at Jeremiah's in 1994. And it was nuts. And it kind of got us started like going, well, you know, we need to do this fairly often. But you know, it took a couple years. 1997. And man, I don't remember how it came about. We had no one sponsoring it. They're like, in other words, you know, we had bands coming from all over the country at this point. But you're going to the middle of the country in Kansas. Matter of fact, Commander Peepee took me to the spot that's supposed to be the center of the United States. But that one was something else, man. It kind of set the stage for how all super shows would be from that point on. I don't think we did it in 97 where we have one night where Thursday is like a private party where we get local bands to play at a different club. Yeah, we're trying to give everybody some business, give everybody some exposure, give everybody some green, you know. But later on, it would become a norm where we have a party night on Thursday, and then we would have night number 1 on the Friday and night number 2 on Saturday. I don't recall there being a party night in 97. I could be completely wrong. There may have been one. We weren't there. And everybody, I don't know if everybody flew, but ANTiSEEN flew. We flew to Lawrence, Kansas. And back to the old outhouse, the cornfield. This time the corn was high. You know what happens when corn's high? It's summertime, springtime, whatever. You know what happens? Grasshoppers and thousands of other breeds of insects come down on it. And if you're out there, they're coming down on you. We went and bought some of those. We had a tent out there. It wasn't helping very much. Me and Marla went to a store, Marla V from Rancid Vat. We went to a store nearby and we bought some of those citronella. Is that what it's called? They're candles. They come in they're like in a dish. Had 3 wicks. We bought about 4 or 5 of those. Lit them fuckers off. And now I'll tell you something. I was just so happy that a product was sitting there doing what it was supposed to do. It was great. In 97, ANTiSEEN showed up as a 5-piece. That's when when the band consisted of Joe and I, Barry Hannibal, Trip McNeil, and Joe Williams on keyboards. Yes, we had a keyboard player. But y'all are thinking, oh man, y'all trying to sound new wave. No, we wanted him to have that Hammond sound for some of the stuff we were doing. And sometimes he would do sound effects for us and stuff. But one thing that we did at every show, we had special guests people that kind of fit into the thing we're doing. That year, the special guests were Nashville Pussy and Zeke. One other guest band. Two other guest bands. Cretin 66. You can go on YouTube today and look at Cretin 66 97 Super Show, and you can see me and Cosmo join them on stage for Kick Out the Jams. You know, when it was time, someone was going to kick out the jams, brothers and sisters. We didn't say that. But I was in one of the other guest bands. Who was that? Conquer Worm. The first time we ever met the late great Simon Stokes in person. And Sir Barry came on that project as drummer. Mike Shoopy made it all the way from Seattle, Washington. We met Shoopy for the first time. We played on a record with him, but I only met him first time, Lawrence, Kansas. And we had to do a crash course rehearsal the afternoon of our show. And even, the show, I guess it was a little rough and all, but man, I'll tell you, it was a damn honor to share the stage with Simon Stokes, doing his songs. An honor! We would do it a couple more times, and maybe just one more time. We would do it one more time. And 97 was, man, that show, it was like, when we were done, we're just like, how the hell are we ever going to top that? I'm sure a bunch of people thought that. Because when we were done with that show, we're just like, what the fuck, man? But then that's when we decided, hey, this was so successful that we are going to make this a yearly thing, an annual thing, the COS Super Show. Well, what city would host it in 1998? Charlotte, North Carolina. Man, we had a bunch of friends come from Germany this time. Like, I'm probably going to do a show one day just on this core of fans that we still have to this day. We call the Ohm Boys. Why do we call them the Ohm Boys? Because they were from Ohm. Or Ohm was the closest big town to where they were from. When old JC gives somebody a nickname, it sticks. That might have been a Barbecue Young nickname. Barbecue gives some nicknames too now. But they're still the Ohm Boys to us, even they ain't been to Ohm in 40 years, 30 years. We still call them that. But Charlotte would be the next one. And if I am not mistaken, by this point, the Tunnel Rats from the great state of New Hampshire were inducted next. And I don't think they were inducted in Charlotte. Someone's got to help me with this one. But, One thing I do know. See, now, we got to dive bomb into something else that's completely unassociated at this point. I got to dive down into Uncle Goddamn. Ever told y'all about Uncle Goddamn? Well, if I haven't, shame on me. Too bad for you. Go on YouTube and type in Uncle Goddamn. But that night in Charlotte, I remember Uncle Goddamn walking into the place. Man, you know in the old videos of Elvis playing in arenas, man, and and man, people have these little cameras with flash bulbs. Are y'all old enough to remember flash bulbs? Put these damn things into the top of the camera and and it turns around and you got you another flash to go until you've gone to all four sides. And man, most of the time you'd be lucky to get 2 flashes out of a 4-sided flash bulb. But first of all, them pictures weren't worth a shit. But they were all over the damn arena. Uncle Goddamn walked into Tremont Music Hall that night. That's what it looked like. Right when he walked in the door. Drunk as hell. He didn't know where he was. Pappy was there. But that night we inducted Uncle Goddamn into the Confederacy of Scum. Oh yeah. That was also the night that the second and the last Conqueror Worm show ever happened. And it was really, really good. I just remember being very happy with this one. I wish we had, if there is full video out there, I've never seen it. And I wish we had an audio to do something with. But we inducted Simon Stokes. Excuse me, folks. 4 o'clock in the morning, you know how it is. We inducted Simon Stokes into the COS. We got him a patch that big around of the COS buzzard skull with an American flag in it. Put it on the back of a leather vest, because that was our thing then, man. You had to, somebody in the band had to be wearing a leather vest. But honestly, from here on, I don't know about the inductions. I've got to get that straight with the Widowmaker. But all I know is, you're asking me, well, goddamn, if it's in Charlotte in 98, where the hell was it in 99? Where else? Hostel City, USA. Philadelphia! That was a hell of a damn show. Man, our good buddy Jeff Gavin, he had a band then called the Bad Vibes. They were one of the guest bands. We did this in Khyber Pass. A lot of you old Philly heads know about Khyber Pass now. Khyber Pass. Maybe it was a good idea. I mean, it was fun and all, but man, that place was too damn small. And it was also the first time that we met in person. A little old band from Oakland, California. Hammerlock! And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to stop right here in Philadelphia. Because I've learned that I still got to get some facts together. I had a friend call me last week and said, man, you need to get your shit together. Can you dig it? He's right. But I'm going to stop in Philadelphia in 99. Next Tuesday, I will talk about the rest of Philadelphia. And we will end it. We will end next week's discussion on the 2001 Super Show in Austin, Texas. Man, it's just like, you know, there you are in Lawrence. How are you going to beat it? Every show seemed to beat the one before it. It was nuts. I may have to go back and talk about Charlotte a little bit because when ANTiSEEN did anniversary shows, we had a party night. Then we were taking the whole concept of the Confederacy of Scum super shows and applying them to ANTiSEEN anniversary shows. So see, there were some times when we had oh yeah, wait, Andy Miller. See, there, Andy Miller. Like between right before Lawrence in 1996, there was Rule Breakers Rule. See, I forgot all of it because it wasn't a Confederacy of Scum super show. It wasn't like the sanctioned ones. These were the outlaw ones that helped us sanction. But that was ANTiSEEN, the Murder Junkies, and Rancid Vat. And wrestling. But see, I've gone too far. Gone too far, I don't know how I did it. Gone too far, but I hate to admit it. And I spent all my time thinking about me. Next Tuesday, I'm picking up at Philadelphia. Philadelphia to Austin. And then part 4 will be the ending. New Orleans, Louisiana to Austin, Texas. I will touch on this on Philadelphia, though. Cock Noose was at the 10-year anniversary show in 93. See, I told you we were doing shows. We played with Rancid Vat other times. But, you know, it was shows. Just shows. Hey, we're playing a show together. It happened a lot. Because we went all over the place. We were globe trotters. Can you dig that? One thing I will say about Philadelphia, it was the first, I think it was the first super show that Cock Noose did not make it. And if you're wondering, how could this great thing ever come to an end? Well, in my opinion, there are people to blame. And at this point, I would have to say 2 of those folks were the Whiskey Rebel and myself. Kind of started going induction crazy, and I think maybe a few of our inductions may not have been 100% sanctioned by the main mang, the president of the COS, the Widowmaker. And in hindsight, it shouldn't have been done. That's my part. That's my part. I'll take for it. You can blame old JC. But there's more to happen. There's more stuff. There's more shit. I'm not saying that me and the Whiskey Rebel were the only ones. But it is old JC's it's my rules here. I try not to throw people under the bus unless they really deserve to be thrown under the son of a bitch. I'll name names, but I'm just going to tell you that I'm not going to say, hey, this is fact. I'm going to say, this is what it felt like to me. This is what it felt. This is what was going on in my head. And what I felt in my heart at the time. Time heals the scars, and time makes you see things clearly. When you finally get mature enough to step back a couple steps and look at yourself and say, you fucked up. It ain't always somebody else fucked up. Hey, something went wrong with me and somebody's to blame. Sometime you are the one to blame. And you see, I'm man enough to admit that. Well, we're going to end on a high note, not a low note. Don't forget, Green Monster pre-order t-shirt. 1 week. 1 week left. Next Tuesday. I'm break on through before I get into the rest of the COS history. I'm going to tell you, this is the last night. This is the last night. Then remember, February 18th, we tentatively have Judas Bullethead live right here. Well, everybody, thanks for coming. Don't forget, Thursday night, Malcolm Tent talks on his page about records. We all like records. Sunday, Malcolm Tent continues on with his shoot interview series. I'm not sure what's happening this Sunday. Hell, just tune in anyway. 5 o'clock on Sunday. Maybe you'll be surprised. I don't know what he's got planned. He's the minister of propaganda. Yeah, he runs things by me, but man, when it's his show, you know, it needs to be very, very little conferencing on that. But next Tuesday, what are you going to do? Well, if you're smart, you're going to be tuned in to break on through.